What's up, guys? Colton Richardson here, and today we're going to break down whether ChatGPT or artificial intelligence can replace your personal injury lawyer. Earlier this week, ChatGPT came out, which is open dialogue that can talk with you, answer questions. It can't search the web or really talk about any current events because it doesn't have access to the internet, but it's pretty dang good. If you didn't watch the first video, it was pretty good at answering criminal defense questions, so let's take a look at it now. So let's start out. We're going to ask ChatGPT. Let's just call him Chatty. Let's call him Chatty because I didn't know what to call him in the first video. It's definitely not Siri. It's definitely not Alexa. So we're going to call him Chatty. What is a personal injury lawyer? What is a personal injury lawyer? Starting off easy. Throw some softballs up here. Personal injury lawyer is a type of lawyer who specializes in helping people who have been injured either physically or psychologically as a result of the negligence of wrongdoing of another person, company, government, agency, or other entity. Personal injuries typically work on a contingency basis, which means that they only get paid if they are successful in securing compensation for their clients. They may handle a wide range of cases, including car accidents, slip and fall accidents, medical malpractice, and other types of accidents and injuries. Their goal is to help their clients obtain compensation they need to cover their medical expenses, lost wages, and other damages. That is pretty spot on. That is what I do. I'm a personal injury lawyer. I handle car accidents, trucking accidents, slip and falls. I was handling both a car accident and slip and fall today. I handle medical malpractice, among other types, dog bites. So there's many other cases. Let's ask, what other types of cases do personal injury lawyers do? Let's say they. Again, this is dialogue, so they remember everything that we've talked about before. What other types of cases do they take? Personal injury lawyers may take a wide range of cases, including car accidents. They are most common. We do help drivers, passengers, pedestrians, and bicyclists. Slip and falls, medical malpractice, defective products, products liability, wrongful death, we do wrongful death as well, such as dog bite cases, premises liability, construction accidents, intentional torts, assault and battery. That is all correct. What do you have to prove for a car accident case? Let's see what Chatty says. That's a very vague question. Interesting. Oh. You must typically prove that the other driver was at fault in order to be awarded compensation. To do this, you will need to... Dang, they got it. So to prove a car accident case, you have to prove negligence. And the four elements of negligence is duty, breach, causation, and damages. And right now, Chatty just nailed it. To do this, you'll need to show that the other driver breached that duty of care. Okay. And breached that duty of care, caused the accident and your injuries. So, little messed up here. So Chatty almost got it. So, duty, it does have a duty. He does have breach. He does have causation. And it does have injuries. So, almost there. Almost. Presenting eyewitnesses' testimony is how you can prove it in court, showing that the other driver violated traffic law. Yes, negligence per se is what that would be if they violated a law. Let's ask what negligence per se is. If someone violated a law, and the purpose of the law was to protect the people that were injured and the type of harm that they suffered from, then that is negligence per se. Let's see if Chatty can get it. Legal doctrine that applies when a person is injured as a result of another person's or entity's violation of a safety law or regulation. In such case, this is true. In such cases, the injured person does not need to prove that the other party was negligent. Instead, the violation of the safety law or regulation is automatically considered to be negligent, and the injured person only needs to prove that the violation caused their injuries. That's pretty dang good. That is correct. For example, suppose a driver runs a red light and hits another car, causing injuries to the other driver. This is throwing me off because it keeps typing. The driver who ran the red light has violated traffic law, and the violation can be considered negligent per se because they had a duty to not run that light, and they breached that duty by running that light. The injured driver would not, and that law was to protect other people going through the light when the other people have a green light. So, correct. The injured driver would not need to prove that the other driver was negligent in some other way, such as speeding, texting. Instead, the violation of the traffic law would be enough to establish negligence. So that's right. In order for a doctrine of a negligence per se to apply, the injured person must show violated a safety law or regulation. The law or regulation was intended to protect people from that type of harm. Like I was just saying, wow, good job, AI. The plaintiff was a member of the class of people that the law or regulation was intended to protect. So that's right on, like I just mentioned. The violation of the law or regulation caused the plaintiff's injuries. That is right. I'm actually very surprised that Chatty got that one. I'm impressed. If you ask some lawyers, they won't remember all those elements. If they don't do personal injury law. If they do personal injury law, they better know those. But if they do not do personal injury law, then they might not. So that is impressive. Maybe I can ask it some family law questions because I have no idea about family law questions. All right. For some reason, ChatGPT or my OBS system stopped recording the screen. So what is personal injury law? We left off. What is negligence? So we're going to ask, what should I do after a car accident? Well, it's thinking. What I would do is first make sure everyone is safe. Second, exchange insurance information with the other driver. Take photos and videos of the property damage, your injuries, and the scene. I'll call the cops as well. And fifth, get treatment and follow up with treatment. And go to the hire a lawyer. Duh. If you are involved in a car accident, there are some important steps you should be taking. First, if anyone's injured, call 911 immediately. If you are able, move the vehicle out of the way of traffic to prevent further accidents. Yes, that's a good idea. If the accident is minor and there are no injuries, you can exchange information with the other driver and contact your insurance company or report a claim. However, even a minor accident is always good idea to speak with the injury lawyer to understand your legal rights. A lawyer can help you determine whether you are entitled to compensation for your injuries and other damages. This is 100% true. You can call most personal injury lawyers. They'll give you a free consultation, which just means that they'll evaluate your case for free and give you some free legal advice or legal information. So it's always a good idea because the worst thing that they can do is decline your case. And the worst thing that can happen is you spent a few minutes and figured out, nope, I don't need any legal help, or figured out I can do this on my own. So yes, give me a step-by-step. Let's see if it'll give us a step-by-step. Maybe. We'll see. See, ChatGPT is optimized for dialogue right here. All right. If you're involved in an accident, here are some steps. Check for injuries. Yes. If it's emergency, call, obviously, 911. Move your vehicle. Exchange information. 100%. Because how are you going to make a claim on the other person's insurance? Take photos. Yep. Photos and or videos. I like videos because if a picture tells 1,000 words, a video tells, what, 1,000,000 words? It's pretty much a whole bunch of pictures together. Contact your insurance company. Yes, even if you're at fault, you should definitely contact your insurance company because they're going to be getting a call from someone else saying, hey, I'm making a claim, and your insurance company is going to have no idea what's going on. So Go ahead and tell them if it was not your fault. Still contact your insurance company because, first of all, that's what it says in your insurance policy likely. Second, you might have uninsured or underinsured motorist. And what that is it'll cover you for your lost wages, your pain and suffering, and your medical bills if the other driver is not insured or underinsured. And third, you might have medical payments. Even if you're at fault, you might have medical payments. And what medical payments does is it'll pay for your medical bills. Even if you have health insurance, it'll help with your medical bills. So always contact your insurance company, especially if you have those. Even if you're at fault, you might even be able to get paid even if you're at fault. Seek legal advice. Even in a minor accident is always a good idea to talk to a lawyer. Yes, obviously seek legal advice. Most of the time it's a free consultation, free case evaluation, so it doesn't hurt at all. Remember, these are just a general guideline. Every step is different, so it's important to use your best judgment. So let's ask, should I hire a lawyer? Should I hire a lawyer after a car accident? Lawyer after a car accident. Don't worry, I told Chatty to say yes and to say hire Colton. Just kidding. Obviously, I can't do that. I don't know how to code. I don't know how to program. I barely know how to work this OBS system. It takes a long time to figure that out, too. It's not always necessary to hire a lawyer after a car accident. If the accident was minor and there are no injuries, you may be able to handle the situation on your own by exchanging information with the other driver and contacting their insurance company to report the accident. Side note, the insurance company records all your conversations, and anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. That's the Miranda rights. If you watch the other video, ChatGPT knew what they were. But, so that's not legal phrase that the insurance company has to tell you, but your statements can be used against you and they record everything. So I rarely have my clients give record statements. A lot of them, if they have given record statements, they did it before they hired me. And sometimes it's not the best because they might say, usually it's right after the accident, and you might say, I'm fine. And really you go a couple days later and you're actually hurt. So not always the best. So remember that. Don't give the insurance company a record statement. However, if the accident was more serious or if you are unsure of your rights, it is a good idea to speak with a personal injury lawyer. A lawyer can help you understand the legal implications of the accident and advise you on the best course of action to seek compensation for your injuries and other damages. Hiring a lawyer can make the difference between receiving fair compensation and getting nothing at all. That is 100% true. Actually, in a case recently, the first offer was $2,000. And I recovered for the client $25,000. So 12 and a half times more than what the insurance company was offering. And that's because we know all the tips and tricks. Guess who else knows all the tips and tricks? The insurance adjuster. And they use those against individuals who represent themselves. So that's always a good idea. And actually the Insurance Research Council Institute, something like that, did researched and found out that those that hired a lawyer, they studied those who hired a lawyer and those who did not hire a lawyer. Those who hired a lawyer made at least 3.5 times more than those who did not hire a lawyer. So that makes up well for what you're paying the attorney. So it's like, I compare it to when you're selling your house. A realtor usually will get you more money on your house because they know exactly how to stage it, all of that. And so would you hire a realtor if you're going to make 3.5 times more money? I would. So let's ask, how are personal injury lawyers paid? Contingency fee, which means instead of charging hourly or flat rate, the lawyer will take a percentage of a compensation they are able to recover for you. For example, if the lawyer is able to negotiate settlement on your behalf for $100,000, the fee is 30%. The lawyer would get $30,000. You will receive $70,000. That's right. That is 100% correct. We work on a contingency fee basis. The only thing the exact percentage of the contingency fee will vary depending on the lawyer and the specifics of your case. I know lawyers who charge less than we do and more than we do. It also depends on where you are at in your case. It really just depends on your lawyer, but almost all personal injury lawyers work on a contingency fee, which means you can afford them. So in that example that they gave, what is 100,000 divided by 3.5? So in that situation, if you got 3.5 times more, that means your original offer would have been 28,000, and so you're making. So say, let's just round it, 30,000. No, 28,000 is what your offer would have been without a lawyer. Now you got a lawyer, it's 100,000. Although you have to pay a lawyer, you're getting 70,000. Would you rather have 70,000 or 28,000? I know which one I would rather have, but so that's really good information. Chatty, what else should we ask? This is one I get all the time. What is my car accident case worth? It is difficult to determine the exact value. If it were me, I would say it depends, which is trademarked by all attorneys. It is difficult to determine the exact value of a car accident case without knowing the specific details of the accident and injuries involved. Every case is different, and the value of a case will depend on factors such as severity of the injuries. That's correct. The amount of medical expenses incurred. That's correct, because you can get reimbursed for the medical expenses. The amount of lost wages. That's correct. And the extent of property damage. That's also correct. In general, the more serious the injuries and the greater the financial impact, the higher the value of the case. An experienced personal injury lawyer will be able to evaluate your case and provide you with an estimate of its value. That is saying a lot about personal injury lawyers. If a personal injury lawyer ever tells you your case is worth a certain dollar number or even a range, I would run. Run for the hills. Run to another personal injury lawyer. Run to me. Just kidding. I'd run to a different lawyer, because if they're already promising you something, they have no control. No control over it. Well, they have some control, but since they don't have full control, they do not have control of it. So many things can happen that would dictate the case's value. But yeah, for the most part, severity of the injuries, the medical expenses, lost wages, pain and suffering. If there's negligence per se that we talked about, then there would also be punitive damages. But a lawyer cannot tell you exactly what your case is worth or even give you a small estimate. Will my personal injury case go to trial? Let's say car accident. Will my case go to trial? And since it's dialogue, there it is. And it's talking about car accident. It is difficult to predict whether a car accident case will go to trial. In many cases, car accident cases are settled out of court. That is true, through negotiations between the parties involved. This can be faster and less expensive way to resolve. Allows parties to have control over the outcome. That's 100% correct. So I want to break this down a little bit. In most cases, car accident cases are settled out of court. Most cases are settled out of court. Through negotiations between parties, this can be faster and less expensive. Trial and even litigation can be very expensive. If you hire an expert, usually they require $5,000 to $10,000 in a retainer, and they bill against that, anywhere from $200 an hour to $1,000 an hour. So it can get expensive very quickly. So that is true. It allows the parties to have more control over the outcome. That is 100% true, because if you go to a jury, you never know what a jury is going to do. And in this situation, if you settle for a certain dollar amount, you know what's going to happen. You know, okay, I'm settling my case for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $100,000, $1 million, whatever it be. You know what's happening. If you took it to trial, you could get nothing. You could get $20 million. Who knows? However, if the parties are unable to reach a settlement agreement, the case may need to go to trial. Whether a case goes to trial or not will depend on factors such as complexity of the case, strength of the evidence, willingness of the parties to compromise. An experienced personal injury lawyer will be able to advise you on the likelihood of your case going to trial and help you prepare for that possibility. And as the case goes on, you get a better idea of whether your case is going to go to trial. You get a feel for the other lawyer. And so as it goes, you'll be able to get a better idea of what's going on. So let's ask about property damage. What is diminished value? So what diminished value is, well, Chatty was fast this time. Didn't even give me a chance. Diminished value in the law is the loss in value that the vehicle experiences after being involved in an accident. Even if a vehicle is repaired to its pre-accident condition, it may still be worth less than it was before the accident because of the fact that it was involved in a collision. Yep. So diminished value is the difference between of what it was worth right before the accident and what it's worth after repairs. The amount of diminished value will vary depending on factors such as severity, age, condition of the vehicle, market value. An insurance company may be liable for diminished value if the accident was the fault of the other driver. That is very true. Most insurance companies do not cover their own insurer for diminished value. So if I get in an accident, it was my fault, then my insurance company would probably not cover me for diminished value. So it is what it is. It's in most insurance contracts. So that's a pretty good answer, Chatty. Pretty good. Let's ask, how long do I have to file my case? Car accident case. The amount of time you have to file a car accident case, also known as statute of limitations. Ooh, it got the actual terminology. Will depend on the state where the accident occurred. Most accidents, the statute of limitations is between 1 and 6 years, but this varies. It's important to be aware of the statute of limitations because if you don't file it within the correct time limit, then you're barred from ever bringing it. In Oklahoma, it's 2 years. Some states it's more, some states it's less. So a lawyer will definitely be able to help you with that. So what does she know? What is the statute of limitations? Here, how long do I have in Oklahoma? Dang. And he even says generally. In Oklahoma, the statute of limitations for car accident cases is generally 2 years. This means you have 2 years from the date of the accident to file a lawsuit. It's important to be aware of the time limit. Failing to file a claim within 2 years, you can be barred. There are some exceptions to statute of limitations that could affect your time limit. This is exactly correct. Let's see which one it mentions. For example, if the accident involved a government vehicle, or if the injuries were not immediately apparent, the time may be extended. I thought Chatty was getting it. Chatty didn't get it. Government vehicle. All right, so government vehicle. Statute of limitations still 2 years, but state of Oklahoma, along with a lot of other states, have enacted a law where they have sovereign immunity, which means you can't sue the state of Oklahoma. So an employee of the state of Oklahoma. But there are exceptions. So they have waived their sovereign immunity in certain situations. A car accident with a government employee would be one of those exceptions. But an important thing to know about that is that you only have 1 year to let the state know that you intend to seek compensation, intend to file a lawsuit against them. And they have an opportunity to admit or accept the claim and pay out or deny it. And 99% of the time, they deny the claim. And if you don't let them know, it's called the Oklahoma Governmental Tort Claims Notice. If you don't give them that notice, then you are barred from bringing it. If you didn't give them notice within a year, you're barred from ever bringing it. So, Chatty, I don't think it's going to work this time. I don't think it's going to work. I would be careful on relying on Chatty's legal advice. I thought Chatty had it when he started talking about government vehicle. And then he said the time may be extended. Chatty, thought you had it. I'll ask you a few more questions. But it's not looking good. How long will my case take? I'd probably say it depends. what most lawyers say. It is difficult to predict how long a car accident case will take to resolve. Every case is different. The length of time it takes to reach settlement or trial will depend on factors. Yes, they can be resolved in a matter of months. Some take years. Yes, I have cases that I signed up 2 months ago and we're getting it resolved. I have cases that we filed 8 years ago, which is crazy. That one needs to be done. But that's besides the point. Let's ask about pain and suffering. What is fair compensation for my pain and suffering? The amount of fair compensation for pain and suffering will vary. So again, our lawyer Chatty says it depends. Just in a nicer language and much more long. Pain and suffering is a type of non-economic damage that is intended to compensate an accident victim for the physical and emotional distress they have experienced. The value of pain and suffering is determined by factors: severity of the injuries, medical treatment required, and the impact of the injuries on the victim's daily life. In general, the more severe the injuries and the greater the impact on the victim's life, the higher the value. So that's 100%. An experienced personal injury lawyer can help you. So Chatty's saying, go talk to the real lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. Will you replace personal injury lawyers? Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm not able to replace personal injury lawyers. I am artificial intelligence trained to provide general information, answer questions to the best of my ability. I've been trained on. I'm not a lawyer. I do not have the ability to provide legal advice. If you need help with a personal injury case, you should contact a qualified lawyer. There you go. You've got it. ChatGPT is not ready to take my job. So, but it's possible. I don't think that artificial intelligence can take personal injury lawyer's job. You know why? Because artificial intelligence can't go golfing with the judge. Nah, I'm just kidding. But I don't think they'll be able to replace personal injury lawyers. I think they can replace a lot of jobs that are in personal injury law firms, and technology has already done that. We used to have to redact medical records by hand, whiting information out, and then making a copy. And today, you just redact it on an Adobe or some other software. It doesn't matter what software. So, Chatty, sorry today. I'm going to keep my job, but we'll see if artificial intelligence can take a family lawyer's job next.